Welcome back, welcome back. This is Keys Guide to Freedom. I'm your boy, TK. I'm in the building. Hey, listen, check it out. We're going to talk about something that's really near and really dear to my heart. Hold on one second. There we go. Look, comfort is killing us. There's a lot of changes going on, right? It is, what is it, April 21st, 2025. What does that mean to you? It means this. That means in the next 5 years, the world that you see right now will be a completely different world. We don't know if the U.S. is still going to be the world currency. That's one. We don't know if we're going to have fiat. That's two. Uh, AI will be fully functional, fully autonomous, and fully integrated in everything we are and everything we do. And not to mention, robotics will replace most of the labor that we have today. So, with all of these changes, let me ask yourself, even if right now you might feel like you're secure in whatever you got going on, if you don't own your future, if you don't own what you got going on, like if it's not something attached where it won't be affected by any of these things, then you should listen to this because this is for you. Now, I'm going to break it down to you today, and I want you to listen to me real close. When I tell you the world is changing, believe me, it is completely different than it was even 6 months, right? You have all kind of things, tariffs coming. A Pope just passed. Charles Schwab just stepped down from the World Economic Forum. Uh, Cryptocurrency is going mainstream. AI and robotics is already starting to actually hit uh, a human level of thinking, and which means what? Which means that we are all in full swing right now. America is in a tech war with China to 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 see who's going to be the leader of this revolutionary technology. And if you're still sitting around thinking that it's not going to affect you, and you still doing the same thing that you've been doing for the last 10 years, listen up. So first, let's talk about money and how money has changed, right? Um, so most of you guys who watch this show, you know that I lean heavy towards cryptocurrency. Reason why is because according to Ray Dalio's new changing world order, he talks about there every 150 years there is a currency switch, and we are at that point in American history. So, for those of us who've been around for the last 100 years, we know that, or last 80 years, we know that America has been the dominant currency, right? You can use American dollars to transfer goods and services anywhere in the world, which is slowly starting not to be the case. There are many countries already not accepting the U.S. dollar. Why? Because it's a deflationary, it's a inflationary asset, which means what? Which means that uh, the more you have, like if you got $100,000 in your bank, and in 10 years you're gonna be able to buy less with that 100,000 than you could right now. Now with cryptocurrencies, it's a deflationary, so that means that if you had 100,000 in a bank, and in 10 years now it can very well be a million, million five, million ten, right? Just by the sheer weight of um, the way it's created with scarcity. So that's already one change. So if you're getting paid with fiat and you're just sitting in a savings account, your money's dwindling every day, right? Inflation is it's not slowing down. Then you have to look at how robotics and AI is going to affect what you do for a living. You see, a lot of times we get in these positions and we're getting checks consistently to build a lifestyle, but we're not really thinking about the future. And if you, sadly to say, if you're in a white collar, if you're doing some type of office work, well, guess what? AI right now can pretty much do your job. And it's not so much that it's going to completely replace you. It's just that someone else is probably going to replace you that knows how to prompt AI a lot better. And if you don't know what AI prompting is, then you are really far behind. Really far behind. Um, and so I'm just explaining to for you guys who doesn't know, prompting is just a list of commands given to AI to carry out a set task. The more detailed you are, the better the AI will carry out the task. So if you're a lawyer, or if you're an accountant, or if you're in finances, if you read emails, like all of these things can be automated right now. So you don't need a whole giant workforce like you used to do 10 years ago. Now you can have a small team of five, each of them be versed in different AI um, technologies, whether it's machine learning, whether it's image generating, and they can just be excellent prompters, and then, somebody might know how to fully automate it. Right? You can have a small team working on individual projects, and they can run a multi-million dollar company pretty much with ease, right? So when you start to look at that, if you look around and you're in the office with 100 people, and you look around and say, "Dang, in the next 2 to 3 years, actually not late, in the next year or two, yeah, year or two, that 100 people can be reduced to five." And if you add that across, all of these Fortune 500 companies, you're gonna see a big change. You're gonna see a huge change. And I know, some people say, "Hey, we got other things going on," but you best believe now we're supposed to have manufacturing coming back to America. Right? I did a piece on this about a week ago, and it's which is cool, right? But here's the thing: we are in the early phases of robotics, right? We have robots, we got robot dogs that can, hunt, protect, infrared scan. We have, I just seen, I think it was Suzuki or Yamaha, something like that. They built a robotic horse that can run in all kind of terrain that you can really ride. So when you start looking at technology and how it's going to change everything, you look at these manufacturing jobs that they say they bringing back. You might not need a warehouse full of people. Like I said, you just might need a team of people who understand the robotics and know how to work on the robotics. And then in the next 10 years, it's going to be robots working on robots, AI working on AI. So you really have to look like how you going to position yourself. Now, this is not a doom and gloom. All I'm telling you is to look at the future. So there's a few things that's new, right? We have content creation. It's a real thing. People are really making real money, and it's fairly new. You have things like TikTok Shop, Amazon Shopping Market. You have Cape. You can do books. There's a whole host of new opportunities just popping up every day that coincides with someone's skill set. And if you're not paying attention, this is the thing that where your comfort level is going to get the best of. So I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Now, so let's say the year's 2029, right? It's 4 years from now. Robotics is up and running. AI is up and running, right? You have worked for the last, let's say 14, 15 years, right? 20 years. And you were hoping to retire in the next 10, 15 years, right? But now your job comes in and say, "Hey, we no longer need your position because we're going to consolidate it." Because at the end of the day, what is the business primary responsibility is to make money, right? They're beholden to shareholders, not really to their employees. So as an employee, you are either a liability or asset. And when you have things like AI and robotics, well, if I can get a machine to do your job for less money a year and have do a better job, I'm going to end up picking a machine, right? Especially instead of me, if the machine costs me 30,000 and I'm paying you $50,000 a year, or 80 or $90,000 a year, plus benefits and all that stuff. Well, guess what? I can just pay the robot $30,000. I can get me a extended contract, and maybe cost me about another 1,500. You know what I mean? And then I might have to pay a guy, you know, 120,000 a year just to maintain a fleet of robots. Make sure that they check in and, make sure the systems is up to date and all that stuff. Then guess what? All of those jobs go away. Not just you, but your entire department is gone. And now you sat there and now you built your whole life. And now you're stuck. What am I going to do? And this is going to happen to a lot of people. Now there's been talks of universal basic income, things of that nature. That may still happen, but do you really want somebody else responsible for taking care of you? Because the old saying goes, if you give a man permission to feed you, also give him permission to starve you, right? And we see how the mood swings of some of our leadership are when it comes to doing things that it could be a real bad situation if you don't comply real fast, whether you believe in what they're talking about or not. So you don't want to be in those situations. You want to have your sense of your own sovereignty, right? It's something that is not talked enough, but I'm gonna start talking a lot more about your own sovereignty, and that's pretty much what Keith's Guide to Freedom is about: is your own personal sovereignty, learning how to use all of these beautiful tools. Because AI is not scary, right? It's not scary at all. What it is a way where you can enhance what you're already doing, right? I just published a book on AI and how to use it to make money, right? And I done it using AI, full disclosure. So it it's one of those things that is changing how we do everything. But most people are just they're just late to the party. And the thing is because we're in a global economy, there's nothing stopping us. Just like how there was a thing with TikTok, and they're reaching out to content creators for partnership deals because the manufacturers that was selling all of these high end products are now opening it up to regular people to start selling high end products at the cost where these major companies was getting pennies on a dollar and then turn around and save them a profit. So there's like a massive gold rush right now. There's international exchange open for everybody. We have with crypto and blockchain, we have peer to peer payments. So you can literally do business in China. You can do business in Africa. You can do business in India. Where if you didn't hop a flight, you didn't know. It's kind of one of those things where uh, the the lines are being blurred because of digital access. Right, I can FaceTime, talk. You can send me samples. I can fill it. Okay, bet. Get the batch, and everything is right there. Right on a digital ledger um, that shows transactions. There's no money lost, no merchant loss. It's going to be used for blockchain. Is going to be used in the logistics. It's going to be used in uh, uh, management of goods and services. So these are things that is taking place that if you sitting in a 9 to 5, or if you sitting at or maybe you just graduated from college or even high school, right? And you don't want to go rack up a giant student loan debt and don't have no opportunity to even pay it off. You're just kind of like an indentured servant. Then you want to look into these new technologies because this is the way of the future. And if you're trying to attach yourself to that old system, you're gonna go down with the ship. And this is not a scare tactic. This is the truth. The truth of the matter is the world is changing around us. There are new technologies that's going to absolutely disrupt the old world that we live in. This is a different episode. The Pope passed away. Charles Schwab just stepped down. All of this is happening today, right? We're in a tech war with China. Um, there's a lot of things going on, but our dollar is dwindling. But all of these things has to happen in order for the new system to come in, right? It was dying, whether it was Trump in, whether we was beefing with China, whether we was friends with like all of this stuff was happening, and everybody knows it. And if you sitting and you watching mainstream media or even some of these crazy content, it, everybody wants to trigger you emotionally for your eyeballs so they can get some type of monetization off your attention. But the reality is, all of these giant companies, all these giant countries, on a lot of scales, they work together in order to usher this in. If if China was really our enemy, they could have put us in a bad situation. But by doing that, they put them in a bad situation. So even though they might not like each other, there's so much trade going on. They're so intertwined in each other's lives. Um, it's kind of like a dysfunctional marriage. Like I don't like you, but we still gotta stay in the same house. Still gotta go sleep in the same bed. So we might be mad, turn our back on each other, but eventually we'll be cool again because we need each other. So it look past all of that and just look at the opportunity because there's a whole lot of opportunity out here, you guys. Whole lot of ways to change your life, not just financially. Because even though financials is important, the most important thing is that you understand how to get your sovereignty. If you don't want to spend 8-10 hours of your day dedicated to a company or a corporation that really don't care about you, then there's ways where you can start to supplement your income. You can use some of your money that you make in extra 9 to 5 and invest in your own side gigs, side business. Whether you're doing freelance work, whether you're doing content creation on the side, whether you write books, um, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to look, because technology is for everything. Open source, it just means that this is not something that we just have and you got to pay us for it. It's open to everybody. All you got to do is just learn how to use it. And if you don't know how to use it, you just need to play. It's just a new toy. Just play with it. If you learn how to use the Xbox, you can learn how to use AI. Okay, there's all kind of videos. There's everything is on YouTube, right? You can listen to me. I think I'm going to put in some new tutorials about it. I'm actually going to do a workshop real soon. I'm working on it right now, and I'm gonna do it for free. All right, we're going to talk about how to use AI tools. We're going to talk about automation. We're going to talk about how to build your own AI agents, putting all of that stuff together. So we I can show you guys how simple it really is to learn this stuff and use it to your benefit. You can shoot you some videos early in the morning or late at night or whenever you really want to, and then just have AI scheduled to post them throughout the month. You can take a week and just do all your videos, then put them on AI, have them scheduled, and have them automatically, right? You can have open your TikTok shop, have AI bots responding to your guests and checking orders and talking to your vendors for you. Like all this stuff is happening right now, and you just need to learn about it. That's all. It is not complicated at all. But for those of us that doesn't, and those of us that kind of feel as if that's not for me, you're the ones that really have to force yourself, because the last thing you want is get a pink slip from your job and your only source of income goes away, which is going to put you in a really bad situation pretty much overnight, right? So you want to have multiple streams of income. You want to be able to automate some of that income. You want to be able to reach out in different ways. You want to be able to have mechanisms working for you, and you don't have to be there, right? You can be on the beach or you can be asleep, and you still have buttons on the internet or whatever, whatnot that somebody can click, and they give you money while you're laying down or while you playing with kids, or while you with your parents, like all of the things that you want to do, living, I'm taking a hiking, my phone ping because I just got an order, but I got my AI bot is already fulfilling the order, right? This is life, and that's where we headed, right? So y'all embrace that. I'm your boy TK. This is Keith's Guide to Freedom. Think about that, and I'll let you know when we got that freedom conference coming right up. Like I said, I'm TK. This is Keith's Guide to Freedom. Be blessed. Wow.